And we are live with some more Gruul Prowess, as though this one is very close to mono red, with one exception that we'll kind of cover as we're going through the list. As we've worked through a couple of different lists of this, one last week was a little bit more split between Unholy Heat and some defense spells, Lava Dart, etc. Had Questing Beat or Questing Druid, Ancient Grudge, Magus. This version's very similar, but has a couple of tweaks from a list that recently did well. The first being Arena of Glory. When you're pairing with all these mountains, basically means your Dragon Rages, Channelers, your Soul Scar Mages, and your Amp Raptors in the middle late game will probably have haste, increasing your ability to kind of kill your opponent out of nowhere, even if they have a sweeper or whatever. The other change is trying out Amped Raptor. I haven't been the hugest fan of Amped Raptor in these combo-esque versions, but we'll give it a roll. Obviously, you can hit everything in our main deck with Amped Raptor. Whether it be the pump spells, whether it be, another threat, removal spells, etc. With Arena of Glory, I think it's worth trying a shot. As far as the actual combo spells, obviously we have DRC, Swift Spear, Soul Scar Mage, Slick Shot, all prowess creatures or creatures that give us card selection and can be a threat on their own. Crash Through is an interesting one. I saw this in a Gruul Energy prowess list that I did some earlier recording today on. Gives all your creatures trample and draws a card, so 1 mana basically cycle and pump your team. Not terrible. Maybe not as good as Monstrous Rage, but still has its purposes. Assault Strobe, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Once again, this is all sorcery speed, so we are a little bit more open to removal in this version, especially since there's no defensive spells, no blossoming defense, etc. And then 3 copies of Scale Up, just as kind of the granddaddy of the double strike combo. As far as the sideboard, 4 copies of Tormod's Crypt. This might be overkill. Probably actually want 3, but go with this for now. Mainly against Storm and a few other decks like Groyo's Vengeance and possibly blue-black Murktide Regent. 4 copies of Harsh Mentor. I keep putting this card in my deck and I keep not playing Nadu, so it does have applications against opposing fetch lands, the One Ring, Planeswalkers, so it's not irrelevant, but we keep not playing the deck we want this against. And then 4 copies of Bone Crusher Giant. This was originally in the list that we tried last week that we ended up putting Questing Druid in. So the thing with Bone Crusher is, while it's not as good of a card advantage as Questing Druid, it does help push through the One Ring, which I've played against a couple times in a couple leagues, whether it be Eldrazi, Necro Dominance. There's a few other decks, sometimes Just Got Control will tap out for it. Just having the ability to even stomp yourself or stomp one of your own creatures, generally won't kill your own creature and prevent damage, or damage prevention's negated, kind of allows you to one-shot your opponent through the One Ring. That and it being additional removal spells against smaller creature decks isn't terrible. Then 2 copies of Meltdown, basically anti-artifact stuff. You could easily have Ancient Grudge, etc. But I think this is a nice cleanup card. That said, let's get into some matches and see how this deck does. Look. Alright, this hand is fine. or removal spells, part of the combo, ability to haste things in later turns. So and ran if this mana the creature gains haste. So you can use this mana to cast spells, the exerted version. So you can give something haste, cast a spell, but let's see what our opponent does on 6 here. Raucous Theater. So probably Necro. No, it's the whatchamacallit combo deck. Marionette Master, whatever nonsense. Marionette. Okay. Nope, we're up against Boros Energy, it looks like. Okay. Go ahead and poke them for 1 in the air. We draw a land. Can we kill them next turn? Interesting. Okay. Sure. Yep. Land would be great here. Is that lethal? Maybe? Don't seem to play Solitude, so +2, +2. Start by doing that. Okay. What's up, Foz? How you doing? Yep. Doing alright today. Come on, deck, give me something good. Things kill us here, but we'll do what we can. Thanks to the interaction with Soul Scar, we were able to pull that off. Okay. I believe that's lethal, right? Sack. Already activated that. So we are in fact dead. Alright. Crusher Giant, probably over Amped Raptor. Could bring in this for graveyard stuff, but don't think it's worth it. Really haven't played much against the various energy builds of Jeskai. It's been kind of funny. I've been dodging a lot of Energy and Nadu. Been playing against a lot of the other tier decks. I'd like to play first. I think we leave on Soulscar here. Go ahead. You know what I wanted to draw? Just another select shot. I so wish we had Eugenic Growth here to blow them out. Yep. Nixilis. Okay. Land, please. A black splash to my opponent's deck or our deck? What would you be splashing black for? I think a Salt Strobe accomplishes the same thing, so I don't know that it's worth it. Titan Strike just gives plus... Is it +1/+1 in Infect, or just Infect? Like, if there was a reason to play black as the splash otherwise, as opposed to green or white, it might be something to look into, but I just think Assault Strobe plus your stuff is good enough anyway. Because otherwise you have to generally get multiple hits in with... I do really wonder if I should have brought in Harsh Mentor. Just because they have so many planeswalkers, and they also have fetch lands, and they also have... Yeah, but Assault Strobe with Scale Up basically does the same thing. So... like, you're splashing another color or a different color for an effect you basically already have for 1 mana with red. Like, if you were splashing black for, say, Reign of Gore, Fatal Push, and maybe some other tertiary cards, or there's, say there was a prowess creature in black that's worth it, maybe, but I really think I'd rather go with Scale Up or Boros Charm over... Sure. Are we dead here? I think we are. Yeah, we're just dead to the board. Force our opponent to make their decisions first before we commit to Scale Up. Like, if we continue to play against, you know, token decks and this, that, and the other thing, then... I'm going to have to sack these two. No reason to swing with Slick Shot here. So we'll deal with a Johnny. It's possible we've put too much effort in dealing with our Planeswalkers. Mm-hmm. Masters, sure. Shoot this, sack it, and then we're basically can't win from there. They went face. Interesting. You know, part of me just wants to concede because I'm 99% sure we're dead here and my opponent's just going to tank 5 minutes to figure out the line that kills me. Yep. Alright, let's just move on. Basically one of our worst matchups. I mean, clogs up the board, has a bunch of removal, has the ability to go over the top of us. I mean, all that's just bad, kind of bad news for our deck, so. Alright, one land. I mean, we'll try it. See Rainforest go. That doesn't really tell me much. Looking for lands in all the wrong places. All right. Okay, looks like blue-black frog. Third card type, fourth card type. Fatal Push is a good one to know about. That's extremely annoying. Our opponent's got Fatal Push, so okay. Something like Bowmasters. Mm-hmm. We don't want to use that Unholy Heat unless we're... Mm-hmm. All right. Opponent has a subtlety, it looks like. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead and put this on the bottom. Sure. Murktide Regent. Which will only be what, a 5/5? Mm-hmm. You have a counter spell. Curious what their last card is. Spell Snare. I'm not going to attack on the off chance it's a Bowmaster. Land, please. Thank you. Let me guess, another copy of Spell Snare. I guess if they have Subtlety, we're just dead, so. I think this is just one of those pass the turns. Mm-hmm. Does feel like the format underneath Nadu is becoming very grindy and very attrition-y. Been seeing less and less of Ruby Storm, less and less of anything kind of cute, and seeing more and more like Blue Black Frog, etc. Alright, here comes another subtlety. Nope, just another spell snare. Stern Scolding, sure. Problem is, I don't know that the format's broke right now. It's just attrition-y. Like, Nadu's in this weird spot, like, where it absolutely dominated the Pro Tour. It continues to seem to do reasonably well in challenges and such, but I'm not playing against it in leagues. Like, it's just like, does this deck even exist right now? So with that kind of boogeyman hanging over the format, it's really kind of hard to, you know, get a feel for, like, if that goes, the format shakes out a little bit differently. If it doesn't, then, you know. No, KCI would still show up in leagues. It was just an annoying deck to play against. It's almost like so many people were like, the deck's getting banned, they're not investing time in it, and then you get into this weird scenario where they had double Murktide? Yowza. Huh. Problem is, I don't know that there's a way we can force through enough damage to just not die to Murktide Regent. Actually, there is. If I don't target Slick Shot and go scale up on one, Assault Strobe on the other, then my opponent cannot block in such a way that they survive this turn. Because they'll block, now no matter how they block, they're dead. Our opponent played very, very well there, so more power to them. Yep, the Raptor is almost kind of useless in this matchup. Harsh Mentor, good against fetch lands and good against Frog. Is that good enough? Bring these in. Go down one scale up, go down one Assault Strobe. Bring in Like 3 crypts go down 1 bobble. Did not want to show the Marina of Glory, so that's part of the reason I didn't play the land. Because that can alter the math just a little bit. So... Four lands. This hand's kind of trash. So we'll mulligan this one. This hand's not ideal, but I do think we keep it. And the problem with it is it's very weak to... Okay. It's not weak to our opponent conceding, apparently. That was unexpected. To be fair, I've been having a reasonable amount of success against Blue-Black, Frog, Murktide, whatever you want to call it, with the various different Prowess and Burn builds. So that's a matchup that I think that's... Yeah, hired actor. You're funny, Foz. But, so if you look at the Prowess decks, you've got 2 different flavors of Gruul. Izzet and Boros. Gruul, obviously, you have the energy version, Unstable Amulet, Ampteraptor, kind of more of a grindier mid-range deck, better against the grindy attrition plans. A little bit worse when you need to close the game out. This version... a little bit worse against the removal heavy builds, but a little bit better theoretically against decks where you need to go fast. Is it? Yeah, sees a lot more cards, but I don't know that it's doing anything particularly special right now. The Boros version is just a little bit unique because it's kind of like this hybrid of Burn and Prowess. That can go to the graveyard. Gonna wait till their upkeep to do this. Okay, start up some type of Tameo nonsense deck. So could be up against Blue-Black Frog again. It's a interesting choice for that. Yeah. Bobble. Trigger. Okay, sure. This is obviously risky to do, but I do want to get this up to a 4th card type, and Yeah, I think we'll leave that on top. I still do the Explorer / Pioneer channel, but it's mainly Explorer at this point. So. Okay, put up the Preordain. So, short version Foz is most of the decks I have are modern now. I've given up on Mana Traders. Even before Mana Traders did their changes like they did, which I'm not a fan of, but I understand needing to do what they need to do to play their business model. Okay, does this work? Blue-black Shadow. Basically, they lessen the impact of the bonus that you got for having a long-term account, which slowly reduced the cost of the thing, and then they decrease the amount of tickets you could borrow, like the amount of cards you could borrow for the same price. I was already on my way out of borrowing decks anyway because of I just don't play enough to justify it anymore. But there was a lot of people this past week that were upset. I just happened to cancel at the same time, like completely canceled, but it was Titan of Yorn. No recent finishes with this deck. So, not sure if we're just up against Dimir or could bring in Harsh Mentor, could bring in Bone Crusher. Don't really think either one of those serve a particular purpose. Could bring in Tormod's Crypt. I think we'll bring in like 2 Crypts over an Assault Strobe and a Scale Up. Yeah, I saw your message the other day, Doyle. It's an interesting idea. I just don't know I wouldn't be able to play it anytime soon. I can tell you that much. I have like none of those cards. But it'd be an interesting like application for a deck style like that. Okay, so 2 Unholy Heats isn't terrible. Not a huge fan of the scale up, if I'm being honest, but the rest of the hand is functional, so I'm not going to throw it away on the basis of what's basically a mulligan right now. They go turn 1 Tamiyo, we have no answer, so... Yep. Bolt, please. Okay, well... Yeah, in Legacy, it could even be funny if you could, like, force out, sure. Just gotta get rid of this Tamiyo. It's too dangerous. Oh, wow. Okay. Guild pack thingy. Opponent could easily flip this Tamiyo this turn. Spellsnare. Stern Scolding. Sure. Leyline of the Guild Pact. So why would you play Leyline of the Guild Pact with that particular deck? Sure. Sure. Ah. So what we're going to have to do here is crash through. And holy heat. Now that that weird little sub game is over, so if you wanted to go that route, let's say you did it for like a casual modern deck. You could do Leyline Binding, Torpor Orb, Torpor Orb, naturally. Alright, looks like we've already done the yield. Opponent can get back another Goyf pretty reasonably here. Hushbringer, Doorkeeper, Thrall. Yeah. This is one game where Gigantha might be relevant. Well, in Timeless, is Scion legal in Timeless? Scion of the Ur-Dragon? I don't remember if that's been printed into Arena or not. Another Tameo, okay. I think we lose this game, unfortunately. Spent too much time playing... Where's the Tameo? Bless you. Cover 10. Well, that's No luck. Indeed. I don't think we're winning this game, but, you know. Well, it gets to attack with Tamiyo, crack a clue, flip Tamiyo. Mm-hmm. What creature do? It's my turn target, instant or sorcery. Yeah, no reason to attack here. Especially when this can easily become a 1/2, perhaps bigger if they have a another Undercity Sewers. Basically, if this thing ultimates, we're dead. Mm-hmm. Of course they have another Thoughtseize. Don't think we win this game. It's got to literally have nothing here. We'll continue on even though this ultimate's going to win the game. Mm-hmm. Best hope would be Bolt, and somehow they haven't drawn a counterspell. But I don't even know that we want Tormod's Crypt. Let's just get rid of our scale ups. It's certainly possible, Doyle. The problem I have with 4 and 5 color soup piles is it just becomes this like mid-range mashup-a-thon, and really isn't that fun. Like, it becomes like the same 20, 25 cards in every deck, and then, you know, whatever. Like, when Omnath, 4-color Omnath with Uro and all that was such a big thing, or when, it just becomes Battle Cruiser Magic, and that's not interesting. Like, I think Magic is fun when you have, like, all major archetypes, like aggro, mid-range, control, combo. When you have all of them kind of lined up and they all do reasonably well, that's when I think Magic is at its best. I like a format where... Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll keep a land. Maybe I should have bottomed that land. Just going to go ahead and play that sicko. I think I kind of wasted that surveil. My opponent were to tap out here, could I kill them? Probably not. We'll just do this main phase. like, I get the value trap, and I'm not saying those decks aren't fun to play for the individual pilot, or sometimes it's interesting to watch, you know, really good pilots with those decks do fun stuff. And sometimes, like, you know, the normal version versus the Dryad Valakut version versus, you know, that kind of stuff. That kind of things is interesting. But I really think the format's interesting when you have that balance. Like, there's fast combo to keep those decks in line. There's, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a good chance this Amped Raptor runs face first into a spell snare. Ground Rift. Mm-hmm. All right. Ooh, Circle of Doom. Alright, how many removal spells do you have? Nice. Problem is, I think it only... Spell Shot only triggers on cast, not on Stormcast, so I don't know that that would work out terribly well. But I'll be right back in 1 second. first. No, it's only upon cast, so Storm, it's not, oh, what was the name of the card? There was a 1/2 that would eat spells. Megas Elemental? I think it was part of the Kiln Fiend Niv Megas combo deck that existed for a while. Like, there is a world where you could go, like, Kiln Fiend and Slick Shot in the same deck with Arena of Glory and, like, have almost a guaranteed, like, turn 3 combo deck. Just because if you can give Kiln Fiend haste and then have a bunch of free spells that does stupid things. Sand is fine in the Giganthamir, I guess. Problem is with Gigantha, who knows what the heck they're on. Soul Scar Mage, go. This could be a bit of a rough show if we're up against Zoo. I mean, like, if you wanted to go all in on combo, you'd be like probably Soul Scar, Swift Spear, Kiln Fiend, yeah. And then play... Come on, give me a land. Yeah. That's why I said you could go even more combo oriented, but the format just has so many efficient removal spells. That's just like asking to get blown out real bad. It looks like we're up against Zoo. Sure. Okay, never mind. We're up against Boros, it looks like. Boros Energy. This is not really a matchup you want to get into an attrition standoff with. Yep, and they get a dude. Trigger, get a dude. Okay. Which one am I actually supposed to kill here? Yeah, you could easily go... Is it? With that one, I think. They have Flage, we get smoked here. I mean, there's not much we can do. Static Prison, sure, whatever. That hits us for 2. And they have a monkey. Why on earth did they not dash monkey? That doesn't make much sense to me. Especially since you had the free mana. That makes very little sense. I think the only reason Flage isn't seeing more play and burn, quite frankly, is the cost. Like, on MTGO, Flage is literally more than... Two copies of Flage is literally more than the rest of the Boros burn deck. Like, honestly, the more I've played the card, the more I think Arena of Glory belongs in burn, period. Whether it be... Please don't have drawn a removal spell. Okay, well... Not technically a removal spell, so I guess we'll be thankful. I think Ragavan's less dangerous here than... It's 12... No, that's 6, 8, 11... Wouldn't have been quite lethal this turn, so... Yeah, it's probably better in control, and that's kind of what I'm afraid, like... If Nadu goes goodbye, does, like... These Boros mid-range decks just become the best decks in the format? Or does Yawgmoth make a comeback? Or, you know, there's so many things with this format, like... The format's basically completely rotated. Okay, they're just going to... Oh, fantastic. Speaking of worst case scenario... I think we bring in the 4 these. Question is, what do I go down? No. I think Assault Strobe is fine. I think we just go down and scale up. Try it like that. I mean, we could bring in like a small number of Tormod's Crypts. Yeah, I'm kind of glad both of them aren't legal in the modern at the same time, because I don't think whatever few aggro decks are left there would be any seeing play right now. Don't think we can risk the 1-lander. This hand's absolutely terrible, but I do think on 6 we keep it. All right. And okay. Yep. Got souls, good one to know about. Now, bolt this. Okay, draw bolts. Four Blood Moon, 4 Fable, 4 Season Pyro. Does that really burn at that point? That's more Boros mid-range. Well, at least they didn't pitch a Flage, I guess. Sometimes, yeah. Problem is, we really can't get an attrition battle with these decks. We just lose. Alright, we're not going to grind through all this, so best just to move on to the last match. So far this league, we're 2-0 against Dimir decks, and we're 0-2 against Red-White X Energy decks, so... Yeah, there's positives and negatives to that. A lot of people weren't happy that Modern's basically rotated yet again. Well, it surprises me that some of the decks aren't showing up. Like, it surprises me that Amulet isn't showing up more, that Yawgmoth isn't still showing up, etc. I definitely played the wrong land here, by the way. Should have just shocked in. Good chance my opponent's on Bowmaster into Necro here. Like, it might have been correct for me to shove here, but that was so dumb. I should have just bolted it. Oh well. What's done is done. Hopefully they do something dumb like tap out for Shouldered. Okay, that might be game. Alright, so So 14 plus 2 plus 1. So that would be 10, 13. Put them to 1. Okay. I screwed up my math. If I wouldn't have blown this Unholy Heat, we would have had a lot better chance. Ironically, if I would have done it the other way around, of course they have freaking Necro here. Goes to 5. Yeah, I punted this game badly. If I would have played that right, if I would have bolted my thing, or bolted my Soul Scar, and then maybe, maybe not. Necro is... It's a fine card, but it's got its skill issues. This hand is dangerous, but could be worth trying. Inquisition. Okay. No. It is not. Yeah, Fatal Push or whatever. Good on them. Come on, just let it resolve. Opponent pitches 3 griefs. Alrighty then. Tell me your hand sucks without telling me your hand sucks. Here comes Necro. Oh, nope, not Necro. Okay. Sure. Target spell or ability deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. If our opponent will trade for this, they will not. Shocker of shockers. Here comes Sholdred. Nope, the One Ring. Naturally. Should probably attack there. Don't know why my opponent didn't attack, but sure. Excuse me? It does get to ping something here. That goes to 1. Sure. Well, possibly. I should have put Giganta in hand. Gonna hold on to this Unholy Heat in case our opponent has shouldered. Okay, so you gotta have another ring, right? Well, the fun part is if they realize that damage prevention right now keeps them from dying to Bone Crusher Giant, we could be in a lot of trouble, but yeah, they finally realized it. Yay! It goes to 5. sure. Mm-hmm. All right, so so they were holding on to March this whole time. Cool. Doink. We punted game 1. They probably misplayed game 2. Who knows what happens game 3 here. His hand's fine, I guess. Weakest hack to Bowmaster. Feels like we're just going to get turn 3 Necro out of this game. "12 minutes of tanking. 'Cause that's just what our opponent does." It's going to hold up Unholy Heat. Doesn't do a ton here. Force of Despair. Seriously? Okay. Glad we didn't play. Go Necro bullshit. We're basically dead to Shouldred. Good grief. Mm-hmm. Had to get a little lucky here. Come on. That is not getting lucky. Force of Despair number 3. Nope, Soul Spike. No, you're just dumb as a box of rocks, opponent. God is so good. No, you just got lucky, that's all. Yeah, this version's just a little too far in the extreme. This version with some protection and a little bit of grind, I think is fine. This version is just a little too far lost in the sauce, I think. We still potentially could have gone 3-2 if I wouldn't have punted away game 1 against Necro there. That matchup's just tricky, but mistakes were made, and that makes our opponent look that much smarter. So, anyways, if you like modern content, especially of the Prowess variety, please consider subscribing to the channel. And Rolling Vortex, Rain of Gore, something maybe, who knows. But as always, if you do like modern content, especially of the Red Prowess variety, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube. Give us a follow on Twitch, and hope to see you for next week's stream. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Thanks to Doyle and Foz, everybody else that was hanging out today, and hope to see you for next week's stream.